The next few minutes could save you from making a massive mistake with your next computer purchase. Most people think of the Mac Mini as Apple's budget option, but something is shifting deep inside the labs at Cupertino. If you're looking at the current model, you need to stop. The silence from Apple isn't just a delay. It is a reset. We are looking at a machine that is about to stop behaving like a budget desktop and start acting like a powerhouse that could make larger, more expensive systems look unnecessary. This is the story of the M5 Mac Mini, the reset that changes everything. Apple hasn't said a single word about the new Mac Mini, and that is exactly why people are starting to get uneasy. Usually, the Mac Mini is the kind of product you buy without overthinking. You need a small desktop, you buy it, and you move on with your life. But this time, the silence feels different. The leaks aren't pointing to a simple delay in production. They are pointing toward a fundamental shift in how Apple views its entry-level desktop. If the rumors are true, buying a Mac today might quietly put you on the wrong side of history. The first thing you'll notice isn't a flashy new design. In fact, it's the timing gap. Apple normally refreshes the Mac Mini with very little drama, even when the internal changes are minor. However, this cycle feels special. Multiple leak trackers have placed the next update in 2026. This date is important because it clusters around a moment Apple uses to signal its long-term direction rather than just chasing quick holiday sales. This wait suggests that Apple is prioritizing an internal shift that matters far more than how the box looks on your desk. Speaking of looks, don't expect a radical makeover. Most leaks suggest the exterior will remain the same compact, quiet box we know. This forces us to ask a very important question. Why would Apple hold the design steady for so long? The answer is simple. Because the performance jump inside is doing all the heavy lifting. We aren't just talking about a routine spec bump here. The M5 chip family is designed to transform the Mac Mini. On paper, it looks like a standard generational step, but in practice, the reports suggest something much sharper. We are looking at stronger CPU gains and a noticeably larger leap in GPU performance. More importantly, there is a massive focus on expanded acceleration for modern workloads. These are tasks that didn't even matter to a Mac Mini user a few years ago. This isn't just about opening your web browser or email apps half a second faster. This is about whether this tiny machine belongs in professional conversations it used to be excluded from. The M5 leaks are blurring the line between entry-level and pro. The Mac Mini has always lived in the shadow of the Mac Studio or the MacBook Pro. It was capable, but it had clear limits. Now, tasks that used to push users toward those larger, more expensive desktops are starting to fit inside this tiny box. Imagine creative timelines that stretch longer without the system slowing down. Imagine code compiles that finish in a fraction of the time. Even heavy AI-assisted tools are starting to feel like standard features rather than edge cases. This happens because Apple's new efficiency lets performance scale down into smaller spaces instead of needing a giant tower. The real intent becomes obvious when you look at the rumored M5 Pro variant. This version isn't for casual web browsing. It is aimed directly at people who are currently hitting bottlenecks on their existing machines. We are talking about higher core counts, more memory headroom, and faster connectivity. These are the kinds of upgrades that don't always look flashy in a quick demo, but they change your entire life when you're trying to stay productive for 10 hours a day. However, even with all this power, some things never change. Apple is likely to keep its strict stance on storage capacity. As operating systems get heavier and on-device AI expands, that starting storage space matters more than ever. You will still have to decide on day one how much headroom you really need. But the pricing is the real decision trap. Most reports suggest Apple wants to keep the entry price exactly where it is. They want the performance to do the talking. If the price stays low while the power hits these new heights, the Mac Mini stops being a compromised pick and becomes the default choice for everyone. The gap between good enough and overkill is narrowing. This is why the question of whether to buy now or wait is so sharp. If you need a computer this second, the current Mac Mini is great. But if you care about longevity, the M5 is being designed to age differently. It is built to stay relevant as software grows heavier and workflows expand. Apple isn't chasing headlines with this one. They are building a machine that stays fast for years longer than you expect. This product represents a repositioning of what the bottom of Apple's lineup means. It looks safe and stable, but underneath the floor is moving. The smartest decision isn't always buying what is on the shelf today. Sometimes the best move is recognizing the moment before a reset and making sure you end up on the right side of it. The M5 Mac Mini is shaping up to be the ultimate budget powerhouse for the next era of computing. My best opinion on this product is that it represents the most significant value per dollar shift we have seen from Apple in years. While everyone is distracted by expensive Pro models, the Mini is quietly becoming the most logical choice for 90% of users, including professionals. Few can wait. The longevity of the M5 architecture will likely double the useful life of the machine compared to buying an M2 or M3 model today. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest tech shifts.